So hello, I'm Anthony, founder at SeedLegals, and every day I meet amazing founders on SeedLegals. And today I'm talking with Sally Wynter from Hunch. So Sally, what does Hunch do?
Hi, so Hunch is a game-changing AI platform for Gen Z job seekers. The idea behind it is that access to good careers is a bit of a family secret, has been for a very long time. And when I say family secret, I kind of mean like you have an uncle in finance. He explains like graduate schemes to you over like a Sunday roast. And most people just don't have access to that good advice. And so we have around 75% of people in careers where they're really unhappy, essentially. And that's a big issue because we spend a third of our waking hours at work.
So AI is transforming job seeking. There are tons of apps in the space, and it's been around for a while. What is Hunch doing differently?
There are a lot of players in the market. The way we're different is we're an all-in-one solution. So we give you 20 personalised job matches each day. You can then tailor your CV, and you can have a chat with our career-obsessed AI to answer any questions you might have about the role or how to explain gaps in your CV or any questions at all about kind of what that role would look like or the earning potential.
So you're an exited founder yourself. You built a company. You sold it for 7 figures. Tell us a bit more about that and then how that led into Hunch.
So I had a CBD gym brand a couple of years ago, which I exited for 7 figures, age 25, quite a wild journey. I've always been passionate about impact. And so the gym was like a 0 to 1 journey. But I've always wanted to kind of make a difference in this space. I grew up on free school meals. I didn't have any good role models growing up. So like no one told me what was out there. No one told me what I could be, how much I could earn, and all that stuff. So I'm really passionate about democratising access to this information and hopefully the impact of social mobility as well that can have.
All right. So how many people at Hunch?
So there's about 10 of us now. Between the team, we're a very entrepreneurial team. We've got about 4 or 5 successful exits between us. So we've been working on this for about the last 12 months and we've just launched as well. So we've had quite a fast, dynamic journey. We've got a brilliant set of AI engineers as well on the team. And we've been quite scrappy with our launch using TikTok and WhatsApp first as well, rather than email.
All right. Well, that sounds brilliant. So AI is fundamentally changing the job seeking market, right? So you can talk to an AI coach. You may be, when you think you're interviewing with the company, you may be talking to an AI person at their side. And maybe on their side, they're talking to an AI avatar of you. And with AI coaching, so there are many in the space, it's going to be transformed for the better or for worse. I love the concept of you getting these 20 personalized job opportunities per day.
Yeah, and that's really important because what we're seeing is we're aiming right now at graduates. I think we will expand, but right now we've got almost 1 million graduates coming through universities. They're 3 years older than they were when they were at school leaving age. They're in £50,000 of debt. And unfortunately, that dream that they've been sold, go to university, like work hard at school, go to university, and employers will line up, is not happening right now. I think there's 140 graduates for each graduate role. So they need to really, it's a different market. It's hyper competitive. It's not like the 90s or your parents' market where you could just walk in with a CV and end up with a job. It's hyper competitive. So if you're not tailoring your CV, if you don't have the right prep, you're not going to be getting ahead. But the 20 matches is all based around, we've seen so many graduates applying for 600 to 800 jobs before they get an interview. And a lot of them burn out. So this is really about helping them to moderate their job search and for it to not become overwhelming.
So does Hunch help tailor a CV application per job using AI?
It does it all. And these days, if your CV isn't tailored, you're very unlikely to get that job. So it boosts your application, it boosts your success rate to interview by about 300%, according to many studies. And so it's like a one click. You can have a conversation about, it's all done on cards. So you'll see 20 cards. You can interact. It has a match score. It's all about personalised service, essentially, that's based on AI. And so it will coach you into the role and it will customize that CV as well to each and every application. It knows what you're looking at. That's what's so dynamic about it.
Right. So that's really interesting. So I mean, at SeedLegals, we get lots of people write to us looking for work. And there's sort of 2 ends of the spectrum. One of them is, dear SeedLegals, I love what you do and can I have a job? It's like, okay, you haven't really done your homework and you just sent the same thing to many. In the middle is the sweet spot, which is, I've studied this. I saw you write an article on this. I'm really passionate about this. I've written some document templating things myself, Great. I'm definitely going to want to follow up because you've done your homework and tailored it. And then there's at the other end, there's the AI wrote this and it's like, not sure about that. So how do you have AI generated that still looks personal?
It's all been in the prompting, essentially. And we've worked really hard. We've got an incredible CTO who's on his third or fourth tech business. And it's all gone into the prompting of the AI, essentially, to make sure that this isn't like AI garbage, essentially, because there is a bit of an AI war going on. Employers are using it to filter out applications. Applicants are obviously using it to enhance their applications. And we've got this kind of like a bit of a war going on where no one's really getting what they want. But the idea is we want to provide much better quality, right? Because companies don't have a problem with quantity. They've got too much quantity, which causes so much headache in terms of time, resources and money. And so Hunch applicants are better applicants. We coach them into how to be better and more mindful about each application, as well as making fewer of them. So rather than spraying and praying, which studies show doesn't work, they're actually making meaningful applications, which statistically are going to get them more interviews and then more job offers.
That sounds fantastic. So who is your customer? Is it applicants themselves, or is it the companies who you're selling to? And then who should reach out to Hunch right after watching this?
Yeah, so great question. We are a B2C app, but we are pre-revenue right now. Our monetization is going to be through B2B partnerships. There's amazing things that we can do with the structure that we've got up. And obviously where there's great talent, and we're attracting a lot of great talent from great universities, there's going to be employers who are interested in kind of contacting and be able to recruit those highly skilled graduates. On the other side of things, we've identified that there's a bit of an issue with large companies that are hiring lots of young talent. They are struggling to kind of manage, to communicate. And there's also that difference between kind of older generations and Gen Z. Gen Zs are very different job seekers. I think they're very misunderstood as well to be lazy, but they're actually just very ambitious. They have higher kind of standards for themselves, and they need a lot of support. So we're actually building alongside the B2C platform, we're building a B2B SaaS product, all based on kind of conversational intelligence, where there's a coach element there, lots of data feeding back. And so companies that are hiring 100 plus, kind of apprentices or graduates each year, they're able to have a much better hold on training and supporting those young hires to improve their retention and also to help them scale.
Sounds amazing. So, previously CBD gin and so on. What got you out of bed one day to go, I'm going to do, an applicant matching platform?
I think it's just the background that I've had. I've had amazing success in my career throughout my 20s and with different businesses, but I think that nothing's really changed. The way that our parents looked for jobs on static job boards, fine, there's a bit of matching stuff here and there, but there's no platform that's really helping applicants not only to just nail that application, but to actually have meaningful coaching, right? Because most people don't have access to someone that says, do this in the interview, reach out like this. You just mentioned with SeedLegals there, how to actually apply for a job properly. And that includes networking, and it includes how to pitch yourself and tailoring your application as well. So I think it's the idea of helping lots of young, bright people who just they don't come from that background. Their parents haven't given them those tools, and I'm hoping that Hunch can.
All right, amazing. Where can people find you, and where can people find Hunch?
So they can find me on LinkedIn. I'm quite big on LinkedIn. Love to kind of write there about my journey and updates on the platform as well. And you can find us at Hunch at www.askhunch.com.
Askhunch.com. Okay, nice. Thank you so much, Sally. It was wonderful talking.